Hey folks, it's Rob from Rob's Movie Collection, and the teaser trailer has dropped for the new Superman film by James Gunn. Well, honestly, I have mixed feelings. But then again, that's nothing new or unexpected when it comes to news about this film. I felt this way ever since the first pics from the film came out. On the one hand, I'm happy to see the colors were brighter on the costume, and as a trunks guy, I was very happy to see the trunks make a comeback. If you don't understand why the red trunks are important, then I can't really explain it to you, and it would be pointless anyway. So that made me happy, but at the same time, the overall bagginess of the costume was kind of weird and not very good, and the collar and all that stuff. I don't really like it that much. Hate the S symbol. Not a very good version, in my opinion. The actor looked okay as Superman. I really have no idea who he is, but as long as he does a good job. I mean, I didn't really know Christopher Reeve in 1978 either. Lois Lane looked good, and at least she wasn't a redhead this time. So, going into this trailer, I expected about the same, and I wasn't disappointed. To begin the trailer with Superman defeated and in pain was, well, let's face it, not surprising at all, at least not to me. I thought the spitting out blood was a bit over the top, but supposedly for the tone of this film. But this is actually a common trailer trope these days, especially with superhero movies. I mean, you remember Age of Ultron trailer? Yeah, they always do this. What could have possibly done this to Superman? I have to see this. It's pretty standard studio trailer emotional manipulation. As I say, nothing new there. All heroes, whether super or not, need to overcome obstacles in order to triumph in the end. And the bigger the obstacles, the bigger the triumph. Otherwise, they end up like, well, all the girl bosses we've seen lately. So it's expected that they'll have to struggle and even fall at some point before getting up and winning, I guess. All modern trailers start with the hero in defeat, it seems. At least the hero ones. We knew Krypto was coming too, of course, but it was pretty neat to see him. I see he was also race swapped into a mutt in this one. He's very different than Krypto usually looks. But seeing a dog in a cape sure tells you what the tone of this film is supposed to be anyway. And let's hope they stick to it. As someone who, as a kid, strapped a red towel to his dog's back and ran around the yard with him yelling up, up, and away, I have to admit seeing Krypto show up was pretty cool. Member berries, as Professor Geek calls them. Nostalgia for those of us in the know. Another modern-day superhero trailer trope. It feels nice in the moment, but a good movie it does not make. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor? Well, maybe I'm just getting old, but to me he looks like young Lex the teenage years. I've seen him act in other movies, and, well, I've seen nothing to really impress me. I don't know if he has the acting chops to pull this off. We'll see. He has to be better than Jesse Eisenberg, though. And I think that's part of what this movie is counting on, trying to be better than the Snyder version. Brighter both in tone and color. Hey, the trunks are back! Member berry! No snappy necky, we hope. I even see a little bit of a spit curl on Superman's head. There are a bunch of other heroes in this movie. This movie is not an origin story, apparently. They say that at this point, Superman and the other DC heroes have already been active for many years. But I'm not sure I like all these other characters showing up. I mean, it seems a bit crowded. It's hard to tell how much of a presence they'll actually have in the film, but I'd rather it just be about him and his supporting cast. There's also a shot of people hating on Superman and throwing things at him. This gives me the most amount of pause. I mean, seriously, this again? I thought it was supposed to be different than the Snyderverse. Not again with people coming down on Superman and him having doubts about himself because of it. Ugh. That definitely puts me off. And then there's the music. For me, John Williams' theme will always be not only the definitive Superman theme, but also the definitive superhero theme of all time. But I didn't really need it to be in this film. I was thrilled to hear it in Superman Returns, and I thought John Ottman did a fantastic job of incorporating it into the soundtrack, along with wonderful new music and themes. But I never thought that if it wasn't in a new Superman film that the film wouldn't be any good. I just expected a good heroic theme, which the Man of Steel theme was not, in my humble opinion. So you hear a weird guitar version of the Williams theme in the trailer, which sounds okay. If they're going to use the theme, though, I hope they commit to it in the film itself. Look, I know it seems like I'm being nitpicky, like I'm trying to find an excuse for not liking this movie. I guess with all the massive ruination of so many loved franchises and characters over the last decade, I've become rather cynical. I don't expect much anymore. And I don't want to be burned again. I did enjoy James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy films, but Superman shouldn't have the same feeling as that. Will it? Gunn made crap like Suicide Squad, and by the way, he's going to continue some of those characters in this new universe, so, that doesn't mean that a good director can't do different things and make it all work. After all, Peter Jackson made films like Brain Dead and Bad Taste, but then he went on to make Lord of the Rings. But you know what? James Gunn is no Peter Jackson. So, we'll see. Hope for the best, but expect the worst.